I'm Joe Wallace for Gearwire.com. This is my video blog, and last time I took the Korg RADIAS and just started tweaking knobs and making noises, just to do anything I could do to get sounds out of it right out of the box with no instructions, no user manual, no anything. If you've ever bought a keyboard off of a friend or off of eBay and it arrived with no manual, you know what it's like to try and fumble around and discover things on your own. So in this edition, we're going to take a closer look at the RADIAS. And again, we have no manual, we have no training of any kind. This is simply fumbling our way through the RADIAS to see what kinds of sounds you can get out of the box. What reasonable expectations can you have? Let's take a look at the RADIAS and see what we can do. Naturally, the first thing we'll do is turn it on, and we're going to take a close look at the menu here to start things off. The first thing that comes up is the ultra cheesy demo patch here. If anybody actually uses that in a song, let me know. And scrolling through the options here, just the real basic ones, you've got a bunch of categories, and there's keyboard categories, there are bass and synth categories. Now, on some of these categories, you can actually start a rhythm going and play lead over the top. So basically what I did was I just scrolled through the menu to find sounds and see what sounded cool or cheesy. Cheesy's nice. I like cheesy. And that's your menu. Again, there's a wide variety of sounds, and you can scroll through, and you'll notice that there are different things you can edit in here. I'm not going to delve into the editing because, again, this is right out of the box. We're trying to make quick use of this, and if you're anything like me, you'll explore the deeper features later once you've gotten a good feel for the instrument. Now, the first thing we're going to do before we start twiddling these knobs is set everything to 12 o'clock and just kind of zero out the keyboard a little bit so that we can see what the different twiddles on the knobs we do and what effects those have. Okay, so now we're pretty much zeroed out here. Everything is nice and in the center. Now on the RADIAS, you've got two oscillator sets, you've got two filter sets, you've got an amp section. There are filters down here and there's time and attack and delay and things like that. Here is your arpeggiator and step sequencer. And I basically just picked a sound and started messing about. And then with very little experimentation, I was able to come up with the arpeggiation. Okay, here we are. This is the section that the DJs and the dance floor people are going to be very interested in. This is your arpeggiator step sequencer, and again, with none of these selected, you just basically pick your sound, and you've got your solo instrument there. Now, if we turn on the arpeggiator, notice for that, the arpeggiator doesn't work on that particular category. That's a bell decay, so we'll just scroll through the menu and find one that does work. I've picked a glide synth pad here. And again, for reasons unknown to me right now, and not having gone through the manual, those sounds are not working. Let's see if we can get something out of this. There we go. Now notice that when I turn it on, you get the arpeggiator, but it doesn't latch on to it. And it does different funky things depending on how many keys you hold down, obviously. But what happens when we... see, this is another thing that I haven't quite figured out yet. Some of these categories will let you latch on. And you see now, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is how you solve these little mysteries. You just start pressing buttons. By hitting the select button, I was able to turn on the arpeggiator for this particular sound, and this is what happens. Now, as fun as that is, this sequence is a little boring. So let's try and find something we can jazz up a little bit. Still a little bit boring, but okay, we'll work with it. Now we're going to start tweaking the sounds. Down here in your filter section, you can change the sustain and the decay. Let's try a different sound here. Okay, so now we're ready to start manipulating the texture and the shape of these sounds, and we're going to start off by messing around with the oscillators, and then we'll get into the filters. Okay, this is our oscillator section, and again, I have not read the manual. I am no expert. I just pulled it out of the box. I'm playing around. We're just seeing what we can do. Now, at the very top here, there is an audio in for the instruments and voices, but we're not going to mess around with that right now because we're not going to plug anything externally in and do the vocoder thing. But over here to the right, you've got a whole selection of oscillators. You can use noise, synth PCMs, drum PCMs, your audio in, and then you can select the kinds of shapes you want to give the audio. Now, the semitone and the tune are fun to play with because you can just basically let this sequence go around and around and still play with the shape of it a little bit, the way it sounds. Now over here I've got both the ring mod and the sync selected. Now I'm just going to deselect all those and see what happens. Now we'll put the ring mod on. Now let's play with the filters a little bit. You've got a mixer here, you've got a noise channel here. The cutoffs, resonance. And then you can change the type here. And this is actually a pretty sensitive knob once you get it going, so Okay, and as you can see, this section is really good for when you want to do those knob twiddling solos. And that is basically your filter 1 and filter 2 section, and that's how I learned to make some of the sounds that I made in the first video. Now listen to this corny crap. You can still make some weird kind of wrong sounds with it though, which I like. And that is pretty much how it's done. You just get in there, turn it on, twiddle some knobs, and away you go. That's the Korg RADIAS.